Hello there guys, Elita Legionarii here, and today I am bringing you a 3vs3 31k game for Rome Total War, of course. At the moment I've been trying to prove my abilities in the use of pikes for 31k, so I'm playing Macedon, and several of my next few games I'll be using some of the pike-based factions over Rome. Rome is definitely the easier faction to use in 31k, and it's probably the most effective all round. But pikes can be extremely effective, they're just more difficult to use. And I find them kind of a little more interesting than Rome to use in 31k. Not that I don't like using Rome in 31k, it's not at all the case. But I just really want to get on and kind of work with pikes. So I'm playing Macedon here, and my allies are Cornovii of the Heaven clan. He's playing as the Greek cities, and Zerberus, or Zerberus depending on how you want to say his name, he is using the Senate. He has no association to a clan, and I don't know what previous clans he's been in, or if he's been in any at all, but he's not in one moment. Our opponents were, they were Heaven Mohammed, I think. He's a pretty newer guy, although I personally think he should get rid of the recruit symbol, because I played a few games with him and I feel he's very good, so I don't think he needs that at all. Biscuits over here is the Scipii and Koda of the Heaven clan. So I was supposed to be on my allies team, I think, but what ended up happening was I was communicating all my battle plans to these guys over here because I thought I was on their team, and then it turned out they swapped numbers and I'm on these two guys' team, so hopefully at the time they didn't hear too many of my little tricks and what I was trying to do here. So that was a sort of cause for laughter, the traitors. Anyway, my build consists of, I believe it was 14 units of Royal Pikemen on gold, and I think it was 6 units of 3 experienced chevrons on gold attack, Crete and archers. Cornovii's got probably, I'm guessing he's probably got, he doesn't have as many Spartans as you regularly see in a Greek city-state player for 31k. He looks like he's got 8 Spartans and 8 armoured hoplites, I think. It's different, usually you'd see more Spartans in there, but that's what he's got. He's going to be pretty aggressive with his pikes, and he does it very nicely. And the Greek city-state's a bit different in 31k. You can be much more aggressive with them than you can in CWB, and they can be very, very deadly indeed in that case. He's also got 2 units of Greek cavalry, probably just used to cause disruption, get some archers or anything like that, because there's always a chance to be archers when dealing with pike factions. And Zerberus has got, let's see, I think he's got 5 Praetorian cavalry, he's got 2 archer auxilia, and then he's probably got 13, 14 urban cohorts, I think. Yeah, it's 13 urban cohorts, 2 archer auxilia, and 5 Praetorian cav. So let's just speed this up till we get to beginning of the bit fight. I know not all of you are into this 31k stuff, but honestly I'm finding it really refreshing and enjoyable for Rome Total War, simply because I find I like CWB, don't get me wrong, and I do have some CWB battles I'm going to upload as well. It's just that the opposition in 31k is more difficult most of the time, so it's much more challenging. I do lose a lot more, at the same time it's always a lot more fun when you're having a much more challenging battle, so that's why I like it. Biscuits is the reason I got into it. Anyway, this is him here. I'm assuming he's gone with, yeah, he's gone with an archery build. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's 2, 5, 7 urban cohorts there, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 archer auxiliary. I think that's probably 6 Praetorian cavalry. Very unusual build. He must be working to counter me, I think, with all those archers. Then let's see, Mohamed-Rec. Mohamed-Rec. That was someone I knew on my friends list, so sorry about that. Mohamed, he's got 6 Praetorian cav and 14 urbans. He's got the typical build. He's the Julii, and Koda's also the Julii. He's got a heavy infantry build. He's got 2 units of Praetorian cav. I'm probably going to say that's 18 urban cohorts. I don't think there's any British cohorts in there. So very powerful infantry build there. So I'm going to link up over here. I decided when I was playing this that because I find being aggressive with pike packages is more difficult, at least at this stage of my experience with 31k, I am going to play a more defensive supporting role for my allies here, while they do more of the attacking role. They're more experienced 31k players than me. I'm capable, but I'm not as good as they are, obviously. Plus, Macedon tends to be it can be certainly effective when you use it aggressively, but I find it's probably more effective defensively. I might be wrong though, but I find that's been my experience with them so far. So I'm going to play a more supporting defensive role while my two allies do the attacking, but I'll support them when they need it. And basically what I'm going to try and do is I'm able to effectively tie down Koda, just tying down 18 units of urban cohorts, just with 14 units of Royal Pikemen. Of course, urban cohorts are a lot better than Royal Pikemen, so that's really useful to our team, that I was able to tie down this many urban cohorts. As you can see, Biscuits is moving this way. I think he wanted to fight me because we've got all these archers. Of course, I got archers here now. So they have no cavalry, and of course, being that there's only one Roman player in our team, that means there's only one player with cav, so they've got a massive cavalry advantage, obviously having more than twice as much. So in order to shield my archers better, because normally my allies' cavalry would be sufficient to protect me, I'm going to have to intermingle them into my own lines and into Cornovii's lines, because that will protect them better. However, Cornovii does a nice move here with some of his armoured hoplites. He uses them to kind of assist and screen Zerberus' cav, and it works very well against Biscuits in the moment. So I find as a supporting player, I find it's very important I keep up with my allies, make sure I'm supporting them as best as I can. So all I'm going to do is look for my archers to I'll flame enemy opponents because it'll reduce morale. I'll look for flank shots and things like that so I can support them better. So as you can see, Zerberus is moving out onto the left, doing a bit of flanking here. His archers are doing a pretty nice job against Biscuits' one archer out here, but he sent most of his archers, 5 of his archers out this way, and he is targeting, I think, some of Zerberus' forces. As you can see, this is where Cornovii starts breaking off some of his armoured hoplites, and he's going to help him assist in a cavalry fight for Zerberus, and he'll probably fuse some into Zerberus' lines to stop cav charges, breakthroughs and stuff like that, which is pretty typical stuff at 31k. So I'm just shifting, trying to keep up with them, and I'll play a very staticky defensive role. It's not really my style, but as I said, because I'm still learning pikes in 31k, I'm not quite sure the best methods for attacking in 31k, because you must realise 31k is incredibly different from CWB. So you could have played CWB for several years like I have, and then come to 31k and it's still totally different. You have to treat everything very differently. So that's what I'm going to be doing here. That's why taking a more defensive role is probably a little easier here. And of course, micromanaging 14 pikes is way harder than micromanaging the 6 you would get in a CWB game. So it's much more, I find 31k is much more interesting, much more fun in a lot of ways. It's far more tactical, but it's also more difficult. Don't get me wrong though, I do love both very much, but I've played so much CWB over several years now that 31k is fresh and new. That's why I'm doing so much of it. So as you can see here, Cornovii is going to use the armoured hoplites to kind of screen for Zerberus while as cav there. I'm just trying to get some shots off. I believe I'm targeting Biscuits' men here. A lot of his shots, he's getting a few kills on me of course, but a lot of them is hitting the front of my pikemen, so my shields are doing kind of a nice job of absorbing some of that. So that's my thinking there, kind of intermingling them into the pike lines. So here we see Mohammed's gone into the Testudo. The armoured hoplites are acting as a peeler screen obviously, but the Testudo will, it's a very effective tactic against pikes, because what you can do is you can go into Testudo, and then when they try and engage the Testudo, they exhaust themselves on it while the Testudo stays completely fresh. So then you break out a Testudo with a completely fresh unit against an exhausted unit, and you're able to defeat it. So it's very effective like that. So as you can see over here, basically screening out their cavalry, and bit of a peeler scrap going on over here obviously, and as you can see, Zerberus is going in pretty hardcore here, and he's going to slice his cav in here to get rid of this Testudo cav unit here. So close to Testudo that they're all kind of mingled up on top of each other, mingled on each other there. As you can see, some of these guys are taking quite a lot of peeler damage. Just be pretty careful to try and not take too much peeler damage, because, like, unlike in CWB, in 31k there's so many more urbans, so the amount of peeler damage you take is a whole lot higher. So you have to be very, very careful there as well. So here, this is a pretty good move here. What's happened here? Biscuits has gotten isolated from his lines of support, so he's trapped between Zerberus' cav and Cornovii's armoured hoplites. And he knows this, and he's going to pull out, but a good charge by Zerberus, and Biscuits actually loses a couple of his cav here. So they're very isolated out from the fight now, which helps a lot. However, at this stage, because Cornovii left his support, Mohamed-Rec gets a good charge in through here. However, he doesn't get too many breaks, and he probably is going to take quite a bit of peeler fire to his cav there. So that's, I mean, it's not drastic, and he did resist that damage quite well. So Koda's going to try and get onto my flanks here, and this is what I don't want. I don't want the roam player getting his flexibility and getting around behind me, so I'm going to keep repositioning, because as you can see, these Spartans are steadily grinding their way into the, whoops, little lag there, grinding their way into their Roman player here, and because Zerberus got rid of Biscuits' cav, or most of it, he's got his cavalry back here, and he's breaking in through to the other, to Mohammed's guys here. Biscuits has still got some guys in reserve, so I'm just going to keep positioning here and kind of denying the battle here, because I mean, Koda's not engaged in any of the battle here except for some of his cavalry. So I'm just going to keep denying and basically stop him from doing so, and keep using my archers to try and get flank shots and put some flaming shots down to break up some morale. Let's see, so Biscuits has regrouped some of his cavalry, his losses here, and Cornovii is just going to create like a backline reserve here with his pikes. As you can see, good counter charges in there, various bits and pieces has broken I don't know why I keep saying that. Mohammed, his cav has been broken. Over here, I'm just going to create a little area here. I'm going to start boxing up quite a bit, just to try and keep Koda away from the fight. Trying to make sure any peeler, even if he expends his peeler on some of these pikes, I've still got plenty here. I'm going to try and preserve as many as I can though. But as you can see, the Spartans are doing a very good job of tearing through those urbans. And as you can see, most of Mohammed's forces have broken, and I believe Biscuits tried a cav charge at this point. Yeah, here's his cav, and they've broken under Zerberus. Zerberus did a very good job here. So as you can see, I'm starting to kind of box up my forces here, and all I'm doing is just getting flank shots with my archers and flaming shots, because that'll drop enemy morale. And basically, my allies are doing a really, really good job of just holding the fight in. But at the same time, they're only fighting 2 opponents, and because they're winning, and because Koda cannot assist because I'm constantly providing a nuisance to him, my opponents can just keep going and they're winning. Because I've taken the advantage, they're able to do so. So, and I've got my archers firing this entire time, so, you know, Koda really needs to get in and assist his allies, but of course I'm just being a big Macedonian block basically standing in his way, while my allies, as you can see, are just tearing up their infantry units. They've got most of Biscuits routing here as well, and some of Mohammed's forces are still alive, but I mean the Spartans should defeat him, although when the Spartans kind of get broken up like this, they will start to lose. But if you can get the Spartans in good mass with no gaps and not too many peeler, they should defeat the Urbans in a 1-for-1. If the Urbans break up the Spartans though, the Spartans will likely lose. As you can see, I'm still just boxing up here. I'm going to support my allies as necessary, and hopefully what we're going to do is going to force Koda to think he's got to either attack me or go after my opponents on his own, and he's going to get sandwiched between me and them basically. So I haven't really engaged yet. I've just been using my archers to shoot flanks and shoot enemy cavalry, and it's breaking up quite a bit of morale. So I've got some guys here in loose formation. This is just to soak up some peeler. And I'm going to regroup my guys out here. As you can see, Cornovii is coming out around the flank here, and of course, I mean, he's got them pinned up here rather, and then of course Zerberus, who's been very, very good this fight, has got him in behind Koda's men. But I'm just boxing up basically, because this is a very good defensive strategy. It'll keep them out. So Koda decides he's going to fight me, but because I got so many pikes and they're in pretty deep formation, it'll take him forever to get through them. And of course my allies are still here, and I can, you know, shoot the flanks of anything that looks exposed. And at this stage, Koda's pretty isolated, and he's going to get destroyed. As you can see, Zerberus has got a few of his guys over here. And I got these 3 units of pikemen in reserve that are not engaged, so I can plug any gaps that start to appear. And basically this keeps them out. This is just a very defensive strategy, and this basically allows me to just take my time and allow my opponents to mop up and clean up. As you can see, Zerberus is a nice charge here because this guy's pinned on my pikes and he's going to kill all these guys here. As you can see, my pikes, because they're in such deep formations, and there's quite a lot of them, and of course I can always reinforce with these freed up units and these other ones over here, these urbans are not going to break through these little pikemen. And there's of course there's archers here. Any flank that gets exposed, there's flaming arrows coming in, and of course they're sandwiched over here between Spartans and urbans, so they're not getting anywhere. Now there's of course Zerberus' cab in behind his lines, so Koda's definitely not getting out of this.
But in battle, it is beyond belief.
So I find, like, as Macedon, you can be quite defensive like this and just play support, knowing your allies are good attackers. I mean, this would have been a bit dangerous if my opponents had not done very well, of course. But because they did, I was able to play just a more static defense role and support them as was needed. And basically, as you can see, it's allowed us to overcome the fellow Heaven clan members. I'm not sure why Biscuits didn't move forward and try to get more flank shots on my pikes. Maybe they could have forced a breakthrough or something, but probably what I would have done. But at this stage they basically admit defeat, and that's pretty much it. So this was probably one of my first major successes with pikes in 31k. I had a couple others of course, but I think it was my first with Macedon, which I was pretty pleased with, because I don't always do very well with Macedon in 31k. Even though they're pretty effective, and I really enjoy using the pike factions. And that's basically it. I thought it was a very good game actually. I thought we had good teamwork, because I've never worked with either of these guys before this, so I thought we did pretty well as a team though. I think it was a very good strategy. We kind of just came together. A couple of aggressive attackers while I just played the stalling and supporting role as was needed. As you can see, I mean, Zerberus, he did very, very well. Nearly 1800 kills there. He did exceptionally well. And so did Cornovii. He played a good supporting role, aggressive attacking role to him. And I mean, I only got 989 kills, but I still got, 3/3 of my army left. And it doesn't look as glorious on the scorecard for me, but I mean, I feel like the role I played, defensive and supporting, it worked pretty well. And my allies did a fantastic job there. As you can see, these 3 didn't do that great. Koda got a few kills, but not too fantastic there. So that's the thing, I was able to keep Koda out of the fight for almost the entire battle, and by the time he did engage, his allies were more or less destroyed, which allowed my allies to come and basically encircle him. So if we look at the stats here, some of my pikes got a few kills. The Cretans did most of the work, of course. This one got 107 for this pike, 90. They didn't do a whole lot of damage, but I didn't really do a whole lot in this fight, to be honest. Just play defense and support, installing while my 2 allies basically took the battle to the enemy and got the critical knockout, and then basically that was it. So very good game to Zerberus, Cornovii, Koda, Mohamed and Biscuits. I will link Biscuits' Total War channel in the description, so be sure to drop by and check. I do not know if the other guys have channels. If they do, I will endeavour to find out and then link them as well. So anyway guys, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be seeing you soon next time.